Live from Washington, D.C., it's your Channel 8 News Team with your anchor, Jesse Shapiro, and reporting live from the field, Jamal Gatero. Good evening, and thank you for joining us at Channel 8 here tonight, February 17th, 1932. And now we turn to the biggest issue affecting our country right now, the economy. As many of you know, following the epic stock market crash of 1929, investors lost entire fortunes speculating on the stock market. As a result, businesses began failing and unemployment spread throughout the nation. The unemployment rate in America stands at a staggering 25%. Widespread poverty has left thousands of Americans without even a place to call home. In search of work, Americans have taken to the road in search of employment, only to find that cities throughout the nation have the same situation. Many have settled in makeshift towns called Hoovervilles, named after former President Herbert Hoover, who many blame for the problems associated with the Great Depression. Tonight, we take a closer look at poverty in the United States by going into one of these Hoovervilles. Joining us live from the field is our on-the-scene reporter, Jamal Gatero, who has gotten up close and personal with America's impoverished. Jamal, are you there?
Great Depression? My bank is looking mighty fine right now.
Jamal, are you there?
Oh. Yes, I'm here live from a Hooverville, just outside of our nation's capital. I have met dozens of Americans who are down on their luck. As you can see, everything is so depressing here. Everything is in black and white. To get a little more insight of the conditions living in this here Hooverville, I have met Elaine Shoemaker, a single mother, unemployed single mother who has 3 kids who has been living in this Hooverville for the last 3 months. Elaine, can you please tell me a little bit of how you ended up here in this Hooverville?
I never thought I'd end up here, but here I am. You know, it all started, it was like last year. I had a house, a car, a husband. But then like a month ago, he lost his job. We weren't worried at first. You know, we was optimistic he was going to get another job. But then a month passed, and then another, and he still didn't find a job. Finally, after a few months, our savings was wiped out, and the baby went under. And then he suggested that we should move out our hometown. I was going to kick his trifling ass out anyways, but yeah.
Did he ever find any work?
If he did, I never seen a cent of the money he made. I had no choice. I had to leave. And we went from town to town and didn't find any jobs. We slept in the car. Seemed like everywhere I went, everyone was there looking for the same jobs I was. So finally, this lady told me about a job in Washington as a secretary. So I took all that little bit of money and left. And I came here, wasn't no damn jobs.
What was the most difficult thing that you had to face once you got here?
We don't have any help. And I want to work. I really do, but there just isn't any, there's no jobs. And it's probably my fault, but my kids are paying the price. I just don't understand how the government can let children starve.
Is that your baby just right over there?
Yes, that's my baby Marlon.
Do you mind if we get a shot of him real quick?
Of course, of course, of course.
You better not be trying to holler at my mama, fool.
Oh, and thank you, everybody. This is live from a Hooverville, just outside our nation's capital. Oh shit, damn! I just said the dog shit in my new Italian $100 shoes. You know, back to you, Jesse.
Well, thank you for that report, Jamal. As you can see, there are thousands of Americans like Elaine who are struggling from poverty, but many are optimistic that help is on the way. Recently, President Franklin D. Roosevelt was sworn into office, and during his inaugural address, he promised Americans a New Deal. But not everybody is a fan. Joining us live in our studio today is the CEO of the Ford Motor Company, Mr. Henry Ford. He opposes the New Deal. Also joining us via Skype is President Roosevelt himself, here to debate Mr. Ford about the merits of his program. Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you for joining us here this evening. Mr. President, why don't you start us off by telling us a little bit about your programs and how you intend to implement them?
Well, you see, Jesse, my New Deal program is based on what I like to call the 3 R's. The program I proposed aims to provide economic relief for those in poverty. More government, regulations, of the economy to prevent future disasters like this one, and new programs aimed at stimulating economic recovery.
Mr. President, you mentioned economic relief. What exactly do you mean by that?
One of the programs I propose is called Social Security. The intent of this program is to provide assistance for families struggling to secure the basic necessities for their children. No child should grow up in the need of food in a country as plentiful as ours. Additionally, this program will provide unemployment insurance for those that are unable to find work and a pension program for the elderly who can no longer work.
Sounds like a good program, Mr. President, but how exactly do you plan on paying for this?
I intend to impose a tax increase on the wealthiest Americans. When we find ourselves living in a nation where some have more than one that can spend, and others struggles to feed themselves, it seems obvious that the wealth must be shared.
Now wait just a minute there, Mr. President. Do you mean to tell me that I'm obligated to pay for somebody else's laziness? You, sir, want to create a dependence on the government. You want to punish hard work and success. What you want is not only unfair, but un-American.
Mr. Ford, you seem to believe that you are the only American that works hard. Would you argue that hundreds of workers you laid off last year lost their jobs because of their own mistakes? Or was it your mistakes that created this mess in the first place?
You have no right to tell me how to run my business. Do I tell you how to run the White House?
Following my plan will get us out of the situation you helped to create. You have the freedom to do what you wanted, and what did you do with that responsibility? You overproduced and caused prices to decrease. If you know so much about running a business, then why are there entire lots of cars that no one is buying all over the country?
Now wait just a minute there. You're telling me I'm a failure? You're the one that's been spending the taxpayers' hard-earned money on programs that haven't done a thing. Unemployment is still high. The value of stocks haven't increased. Maybe instead of telling me how to do my job, you should focus on doing yours. Gentlemen, I'm afraid that we're going to have to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with more of this debate.
Are we at break?
Yes, Mr. President.
Hey Ford, if I weren't paralyzed from the waist down, I'd take my foot and shove right up your rich ass.
Mr. President?
We're still on the air.
What? I'm sorry about that, folks. We're experiencing a little technical difficulty. Let's move on to our final report. One of the areas hardest hit by the Great Depression has been the Dust Bowl states. Here, farmers are losing their land to foreclosure, but they're also losing the dirt beneath their feet, as overproduction and drought have caused the land to dry up, and now massive dust storms sweep through this region of the country. Let's go live to the field with another report from Jamal.
I'm here live from the Dust Bowl where the wind is blowing really, really hard.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for us this evening. Stay classy.